That's going to be home mesh networking using Batman Advanced and Openwrt to set up a home mesh networking. And what it is, I ran into some problems. And y'all probably going to run into some problems, but it can be done. But the problems I was running into was storage space on the nodes that I was using. This guy right here, this right here, his node setup. That's pretty primitive, but and there's old Batman. That's one of the nodes he's got. A better approach to mobile ad hoc networking, and so he's real happy with his node. I ain't never quite seen a node like that, but that's Batman's node. And this right here is wireless battle mesh, and it's sponsored by Openwrt and all these other mesh guys, and they getting together and who could build the best mesh. And mesh networking is getting more and more and more. It's like I'm seeing it a lot now. There's people are wanting this mesh setup. They want to get a mesh networking. And it's like I was reading up on this guy. He had 5 hotels and he had free internet, and he set up mesh networking in all 5 of his hotels, and he was just using routers, just regular routers, Openwrt, and he was using Batman Advanced, and that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Batman Advanced. Now there is a OLSR, and this tried and true, sound 3-layer mesh networking. But Batman Advanced is 2-layer. Well, that means you got your radio, and then you got a virtual radio. And OLSR, you got your regular radio, and you got 2 virtual radios. So you got 3 levels there communicating. On Batman Advanced, they knocked one out, and it's a 2-layer, and it's better. And this right here is the router I'm going to be using. Y'all probably seen this router before. It is a D-LINK DIR 615, and it's E3. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, y'all saying, ooh, not a D-LINK DIR 615. A lot of y'all Google D-Link DR 615 and say wow, and then just put Wi-Fi dropping at the end of it. You'll see a boatload of articles where people are just complaining, raising Cain, just telling this is the awfulest piece of junk that ever was created. With the stock firmware, I would agree, but with Openwrt third-party firmware installed on it, it's a rock solid piece of equipment. And this is what I chose to use. Now, I also had a problem. Well, I didn't really have a problem, but y'all going to have a problem. If y'all use a router that's only got 4 megabytes of memory on it, you're going to have problems. Unless you can find a build without the Lucy. Because I try to compile my own firmware with Lucy on it, and it's just not enough room. 4 megabytes just ain't enough. So I took Lucy off, and I went ahead and done away with firewall, and I was able to build me a custom firmware with Batman Advanced and Bat CTL in the firmware. And I loaded it up and got it working. I says, well, I'm just going to download a copy from Openwrt, put it on there, and remove some stuff and show y'all how to do it, and take Lucy off of there and show y'all how to do it to make enough room to put it on there. But the only problem is, once that firmware is built with Lucy in it, it's integrated so good I couldn't pull it out. And no matter what I try, I just couldn't get Lucy off of that build I downloaded off of Openwrt. So I just took my custom build, I built it without the Lucy and without the firewall, and then I added Batman Advance on there, and I loaded it up, configured it, and everything worked great. But it's only got 4 megabytes of RAM. And if y'all get a router, it's only got 4 megabytes of RAM, and it needs to be the Atheros chipset because it's fully supported. Some Broadcoms will probably work, but some will, some won't. But if you're going to build some nodes and a mesh setup, it needs to be a Atheros chipset. Well, they started making routers now, that's got 8 megabytes, and you're perfectly okay with 8 megabytes. You can have the Lucy anything you want on it. The reason I chose this right here is because I got a bunch of them, and I like making things harder for myself, and so I did it like that, and it worked. You can use a router with a Atheros chipset, but you have to have a custom built Openwrt firmware with Batman Advance on it. And this is what I'm going to be using, is the D-LINK DIR 615. And this right here is a mesh setup. Now this right here is sort of a citywide job, and the backbone's right here. And I was over thinking there's other, if you're going to build one like this, the M2 bullets, if y'all ever heard of an M2 bullet. And some of them, you could jack them all the way up to 2 watts. And with a 12 dB gain Omni antenna on it, you could build an awesome mesh network. And this right here is another mesh network right here. And this right here's got 2 gateways and an internet. And this right here is to mesh all these nodes right here. And these right here are the clients, these phones, laptops, all kinds of neat stuff. And here's another mesh setup. Right here's the internet coming off of this right here's a server node right here. And this right here, I got some of these, but these right here's only got 4 megabytes of memory on it. This right here's a Netgear WNR 2000 V4, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people out there saying, "Ooh, you can't use that as a node. They're junk. They're junky. They're no good. They're no count." With the stock firmware, yes, but if you put Openwrt on this Netgear, it is rock solid too. I was thinking about using it, but I changed my mind. I went with the D-Links, and this guy right here, he's got a mesh hairdo. This is the mesh hairdo style, mesh, hairdo. Right there, it covers the bald spots. Okay, now this right here is the TP-Link WR143ND. If you can find a couple of old ones, this right here's got 8 megabytes of memory on it, where you can put the Lucy, Batman, everything you want on it, and it's a Atheros base. Don't get the 1.8 version. They got a Wi-Fi bug. But all the way, if you like 1.10s, 1.11s, 1.9s. 1.7, anything but a 1.8. If you could put Barrier Breaker or Chaos Calmer on there with the update drivers, these are rock solid awesome. These got 8 megabytes. I got quite a few of these. I was going to use these, but I decided to go with the D-Links. And why is Batman awesome? Is awesome. Man, these right here is how come Batman's so awesome. You don't even need an IP address. Clients can roam, self-building, healing, scaling. I mean, it's like they the guys, developers, are in Germany, and I think they call themselves a Furfunk, and they did a great job on a Batman Advance. They did an excellent job. I'm really impressed with it. And those guys, those Germans, for being smart, they some pretty smart people, and that's their logo. All right. Now let's get started. Now, because the firmware I built and put on it, I already got. I'm gonna set up 3 nodes, and also these are the configs. And I'm gonna put this. Oops, I ain't got no internet until I configure one. Okay, y'all be cool. Let me set up the server node. Now these right here are the configs I'm going to be using. This is the Wi-Fi node 1. This is the server node, and I want to give you the net address. I'm going to put it down where y'all can click onto it and where y'all can look at my configs and their configs. So that's where I got my configs from. I did very little changing on it. Now this right here is the server node. Wi-Fi node 1 is the server node, and I was having problems getting the nodes to pull an IP address from my external DHCP server, and it took me a little while. And I did reading, and I went to Openwrt site, and I did some searching, and I was having a problem. I was getting the radios set up. I could see them and everything. I could ping them and all, but I just couldn't get a IP from my DHCP server until I came here, and this right here did the trick right here. Node 1 is the server node, and I combined the BAT 0 with the ETH 0, and that did the trick. The node 2s are set up a little bit differently. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first thing you get is, since I don't have a Lucy to get into, I'm going to have to do it the old way through the UCI, but I'm going to also be using WinSCP. Alright. And now I'm going to give it a password. Okay, I just gave it a password. Now I can SSH into it with WinSCP. Okay, now you can look at this right here, and right off the bat, right there's Batman Advanced DHCP, and you can probably right off the bat you can probably see there is no firewall config in here because it's not in there. You don't need the firewall. Okay, let's get started. Let's see how fast I can, cause I plan on setting up 3 nodes, and I'm going to check each one of them to be sure they're functioning. What's so cool about these nodes, the only thing you got to do, once you config them, there ain't no relay D or nothing like that in it. The config is fairly simple. All you got to do, once you get it config, reboot it, and it's part of the node. It's part of the mesh right then. As soon as it reboots, Batman, come in, and they start, all the other nodes to communicate with each other, and it's part of the mesh right then. You ain't got to deal with no relay D or configure or nothing like that. Okay, node 1. Okay, let's start with the Wi-Fi. This right here is the wireless right here. Alrighty. Now, first thing I want to do is hyper transport or HT mode. I want it 40. HT mode 40. It'll go faster. And remove this. That's right here, enable the Wi-Fi. And these right here are 2 options right here. I want to add these. Option txpower is 22. That calls it to give it 158 milliwatts, and I'm in country US. Copy, paste. Alright, let's see if everything looks good. Okay, I'm on channel 11. Yeah, let's leave it on channel 11. Let's just leave everything on channel 11. Okay. Now let's go down to Wi-Fi interface, radio O, LAN, access point, encryption none. The only thing we got to do here is just change the ssid to node 1. Okay, and then this right here, just drop it right in there. This right here is the wmesh config. Alright. Okay, if everything looks good, that's pretty simple. txpower 20, HT40, channel 11. Alright, it looks good. Okay, push this button right here. This is the save button. And it drops it right down to the query, and it's making a change for you. Let's give it a few minutes. Alright, double check it. Okay, this SSID, mesh, and this bssid, all of them is going to be the same. On all of them, this right here is going to be the same. All of them. Now, right now, I don't have no encryption. Encryption is none, but you can put some encryption right here. I'll show you before I complete the tutorial I'm doing right now. I'm gonna put encryption on one of them. So if you make a home mesh network with Batman Advance, you need some encryption for a home mesh setup. But if you was like a hotel or a motel or external emergency job or something like that, need mesh, you wouldn't have no encryption. You just have it where people can just log right onto it, no problem. Just find the node that's got the most power, and that's the one you go and just click onto it, and there you go. You got it. And I'm going to show you how to log on to a mesh node with a non-mesh device. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Now, the next one is network. This right here is what does it. The only one you're going to be doing with etho and bato. But let me tell you something. When you get right here, and if your LAN option interface name is eth1 or eth0.1, leave it. Leave it. Because if you paste everything over and if yours is eth1 and you switch it over to 0, you have just screwed up. When you boot up, you're going to have to go in fail-safe mode, get it in fail-safe mode, clean out starter, because you have just bricked it. You have just screwed up. Okay, just right-click, edit. Okay. Like this right here is already etho, just whatever yours is default. Right here, just put bat0. Okay, force link 1, you can leave that in there. Bridge, static. Well, since it's out, go ahead and take it out. But you can leave it in there. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Static. Okay, right here, I'm gonna change the login right here. This IP to 0.25. Alright, 60, because everything else is the same. Everything else is the same. Okay, you don't need your WAN or your WAN 6. I'm just going to get rid of them. Okay, and then put this mesh right here in this config interface mesh right here. Copy. Alright, that's in there. Okay, just look at it real good, double check it. Okay, looks good, looks good, looks good. 0.25. Okay, ETH0. Like I said, when you see this LAN, if it says ETH1 or ETH0.1, leave it. My default was ETH0, which is the same one as this one right here, so I'm okay anyhow. Okay, click advance. And now it's in the query, saving it. Click save. Okay, double check. Oh yeah, DHCP server. Don't forget all about that one. You don't want it working. Take this option, ignore 1 under the WAN, and put it right up under the LAN. Oops. Right there it is, and then that turns the DHCP server off. What you're going, well, you could use it, if you want to, but I'm going to get my DHCP server from an external source, and that's where I'm going to be getting my internet from. I'm going to be getting all my internet and all my IPs from one place. And it's going to be an external DHCP server. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Let's double check everything real quick. Network. Okay, that looks good, looks good, looks good. Okay, that's it. We are now, alright, 2240. Okay, we have no encryption on it. No encryption right now. We ain't got no encryption, so we can log right onto it with no problem. Alright, that's it. That's it. We have just finished configuring node 1. Let's reboot it. It ain't going to work until we reboot it. And I am rebooting it right now. Now I'm going to plug into a non-mesh router that's set up as a client bridge, and that's what I'm going to use to log on to this mesh number 1. Okay. Alrighty, what's my IP? Okay, my IP's all screwy. Okay, I'm gonna have to give it a manual IP. A static IP. Okay. I got a static IP now. Alright, we're almost there. Okay, there's node 1, and this right here is the virtual radio that Batman is using. Both of them are open, and this right here is my main router. That's where I'm going to be getting my IP from. And I'm going to join node 1. Okay, delete. Come on here. Come on. There we go. Alright, node 1, channel 11, 22. Okay, that looks good, looks good, looks good. Save and apply. Give it a few minutes. All right. That looks great. Radio's at 100%. Now, let's see if this node is working properly. Let's see if it's going to give me an IP. Okay, Dookie. There it is. It gave me an IP. And there's Google. Okay, right there's Openwrt. My internet's super slow. Let me check my IP. Okay, my IP now is this right here is default gateway 192.168.0.22. DHCP server is 192.168.0.22, and it's the IP it gave 192.168.0.11111. Yep. Okay, node 1 is now functioning. Ain't that nice? Okay, there's Google. Come on here. My internet's slow today, folks. Okay, this right here is the Batman Openwrt Batman site. Advance. Right there it is. Okay, we got internet. Alrighty, this node is functioning. Now let's set up node 2. I'm going to set up 3 nodes. Okay, I got node 1 functioning. Okay. Alright. I'm going to do it the same way. Got to load in and give it a password. Okay. What? Oh. Okay. Now I gave it a password. Let's log into it with WinSCP. Okay. Okay, this is node number 2. Alright, first thing we need to do is turn off the DHCP server. And okay, give it a minute and let it do the changes. Alright, let's double check it. Edit. What this does right here, option ignore 1. When it sees that option ignore 1, it'll jump over it and it will not load up the DHCP server. And so this right here, what it does, it turns it off. Okay, now let's let's continue. Node number 2. Let's see how fast I can do this one. Edit. I want the HT mode at 40. Remove. And I want to add this. txpower country US. Alrighty. Okay. Since I got everything right here, see what it is. This option network MB on the network side is right here. This is very important. It'd go to this right here, to batadv, and it's bridged right here. And I'm gonna have these configs up there. This right here is what makes it different. As you see right here on the interface LAN is just eth0, and they're not bridged right here at the eth0. And these right here are client nodes. We only got one server node. The rest of them going to be put up. It's going to be set up as the client node. Okay, got that. And this right here is MB network, just MB access point. And then really here, all you got to do is change this to node 2. And then just no encryption. And then just config Wi-Fi interface wmesh. Just swap the whole thing right here. Copy and paste. All of them is going to have the same SSID, and also all of them is going to have the same BSSI. All of them is going to have the same mesh setup right here. It's going to be identical on all of them. Okay, click save. Give it a minute. Alright. Double check it. Node 2 looks good. Wi-Fi looks good. Now let's do, the only thing we got to do now is the network. Edit. Okay. Now this right here, don't do the etho. Option force link 1, you can leave it in there, but since it ain't in the other config, you can take it out. You can leave it in there, it'd be okay. But Okay, bridge. Now this one right here, I'm just going to change the IP right here to 6. You don't need the you don't need the WAN or the WAN 6. And just get them out of there, delete them. Now these right here, I'm just going to swap and paste the mesh adhoc, the MTU 1532, the proto bat advance, the mesh bat-o. These right here, I'm going to just swap the whole things and paste. Right there they are. This right here, you know, it's got the hex mark on it. You know, it'll jump over it, but since you don't need it, I'm going to go and get it out of the way too. Alright. Okay. Let's just take a look. Now right here on this ipaddr right here, the reason it's 26, I just added 20 to this. You ain't got to. This is just something I made up. It works, you know. It works. That's why I'm leaving it like it is. Like this is the node 2. I got it this one. Node 3 is going to be 27. Node 5 is going to be 28. Node, you know, every time I do a node, I don't want this IP to be alike, or this IP down here to be alike, but I want it in the same subnet that's handing out my DHCP server. It's in the 192.168.0 zone, you know, but I want it to be that. Okay, let's double check here. 26 subnet. Okay, bridge static bat-o. All right. 32. Okay, that looks okay. All right. Just give it a minute while it makes the changes. All right. Edit. Let's just take a quick look, make sure everything's bridge static 0655. Yeah, that's the option sign 660 right there. It's, you know, if yours has got a default there, you can leave it. Mesh ad had 11530. That's it. That looks good. Okay, guess what, folks? We have finished configuring mesh node number 2. And I got one more to do. Right there's the configs for mesh node number 3. Okay, let me reboot it. And I'm going to log on to it, see if it works. And what it is, when I log on to this node number 2, it's going to be getting all of its Wi-Fi from node number 1, and also it's going to be getting the IP, and it's going to pull it through node number 1, and then it's going to send it to node number 2. Then it's going to hand it to my client bridge, and it's going to give it to my computer. And then I'll have internet. Okay. I'm feeling I'm going to have to set this back to no. Well, guess what, folks? Okay, I'm still logged on to the other router. Okay, I'm still logged on to node 1. Okay, now I'm going to log on to node 2. Here we go. network, Wi-Fi. Okay, let's scan the area. Okay, there's node 1, and what is this right down here? There's node 2. Okay, and you see both of them, we got this right here's the layer 2 mesh. Even though we got, you know, it transmitting on node 1 and node 2, since they're totally identical, there's only going to be one there. And that's the way the second layer is communicating on each other. It's through this mesh interface right here, channel 11. Okay, node 2, let's join node 2. See what happens. Alright. There we go. ESSID node 2 client. Save and apply. And looky there. It already gave me an IP on node number 2. See what my IP is. Pretty much same thing. Default gateway 192.0.0.1.1.1.1. And I am on node number 2. See if we got any internet. Yep, I got some internet. Alright. There's the Openwrt site. And there's the Batman site. My mesh is starting to grow. I already got 2 nodes. Okay. Let's just log back into it. Okay. Okay, the SSID is node number 2, client. Uh-oh, I'm only on 20 megahertz right here. Okay, node number 2. I was supposed to switch that over to 40. And it's saying I'm 20. I had to go back and double check that. That ain't no big deal. One of these nodes is set at 20, causing everything to slow down. 2020. That's supposed to be saying 40. I just have to go back there and take a quick look at my configs and be sure what all of them are saying. I'm sure it is. Wait a second. I think I already know what the problem is. Network. I forgot to set it on edit. Advance. Yeah, it's already set at 40 megahertz. Yeah. Okay. That ain't the problem. One is, I think, let's don't worry about that right now. There's just a little minor tweak. Let's keep on going. One more node. One more node. Then let's see how fast I could do that, and I'm getting pretty quick at this. Alright. One more node. Then I'll have 3 nodes set up with Batman Advance. And my mesh network's already growing by. I have 3 nodes, and I just what it is, every time you reboot it, config it as a client node, and once you get done, just reboot it, and it's part of the mesh. It's part of the mesh right then. Okay. Let's see how quick I could do this one. Open. Okay, this right here be node number 3. Network error. Oh no! Oh, wait a second. I think I already know what the problem is here. I believe I already got this one right here, a login name. Yes, what it is. I already gave this a login name. Alright. Turn off the DHCP server. Copy. Almost done here. paste. And on 1, this turns off the DHCP server. Okay, node number 3. Alright. Wireless. Edit. G right here. 40. Remove the line right here. And put these 2 in. Alright, radio O, MB, change this to MB, MB, access point, node 3, none, node 3, no access point, okay, none, then just drop this one in there. Okay, and save. Alright, let's go to network. Double check it right quick. Okay, radio O, MB, access point, node 3, encryption, none. Okay, that looks good, that looks good. Okay, just keep on going. Almost done, almost done. Alright, don't need the WAN or the LAN, get them out of there. Okay. So, merge static. Okay. Okay, that's right here. We're going to change it to 07. And down here it'll be 27. Okay, 5550. Okay. And just, I'm going to just copy these right here and drop them in. Don't need that, so I'm going to take it out of there. Alright. So that's pretty much it. Okay, save that. Send a query, give it a minute. Alright. Take a quick look. 07. Oh. That looks good. Looks good. All right. That did it. Done. We're done with this one. That flew by pretty quick too. Okay, now I'm going to reboot node number 3. Alright, I'm going to reboot node number 3. Okay, and I'm still connected up to node number 2. Okay, let's log on to node number 3. Okay, there's node number 1, there's node number 2, and there's node number 3. Let's log on to it. Channel 11, all that looks good. Node number 3. It's looking for an IP. And it gave it one. All right. It gave it an IP. Status. What we're on here. Okay, we are now on node number 3. Node number 3, and we're still at 20 hertz. But I'll figure that out. I'm gonna straighten that out. I believe it's the main node causing that. You know, I'm gonna switch it over to 40. And then it'll worky. Alright. Let's see if we got yeah. Let's see if we got any kind of internet. Right there it is. Let's go to Openwrt site. Right there it is. Let's go to the Batman site. And right there it is. And right now I got a 3-mesh Batman advanced mesh setup, and it's working. I'm getting my IPs from an external source, and it's coming through the mesh cloud, and it's going exactly where it needs to go. Okay, before I completely quit, I'm going to set up on number 3 here some if you set up for home networking, you'll want some kind of encryption security. And I'm going to put some encryption on this one right here, node number 3, and this is how you do it. Let's log into it. 7, I already got 7 down here somewhere. Right there, log in. Okay, we're back in. Go to the wireless, edit, encryption none. Just put PSK2. Software caused it. Okay, let's give it a okay. Let's log back in again. Alright, hold on. Yeah, I thought so. The way it is, when you get a node set up, the LANs will not keep a IP to it. only the wireless part will. And so what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to give it a static IP right quick. 192.168.0.10. Okay. Almost done. Let me just show you this right quick, and let me log back into it. Log in. Okay, wireless, edit, encryption none. I'm on node 3, PSK2. Alright, and let's see here. Right here, this one. Option key. And enter. Paste, and that's the key. And click this button right here and send a query. You have just gave it security. If you don't want nobody to log in on the node, you can have all these security different keys, but they need to be hexadecimal. Me, since I'm up here in the mountains, all 3 nodes or any more nodes I make, I'm going to keep them all the same. You know, just for the ease of logging on to the ones I need to log on to. If I go running around and I won't get a log on that node I ain't got to remember a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let me double check it. Right there it is, encryption, PSK2. All right. Okay, we just gave it encryption. Let's log on to it and see if it works with the new encryption. Security key. Alrighty. Scan. Alright, right there it is. Nope, I forgot to do something, folks. It's called rebooting it. Every time you do something, change it, for it to take effect, you got to reboot it. Okay, let's give it a little bit and let it reboot. Almost there. Okay, I believe that's it. Okay, mesh 2 is open, mesh 1, and right there, node 3 is WPA2 PSK encryption. So let's join that network again. And right there's the key, WPA phrase. And Okay, the radio's on. Let me go to my settings. And obtain an IP address automatically. And it gave it to it that quick. Let's check it. Yep. Okay. Let's see if we got internet. Okay. All right. So there's Openwrt. There's Openwrt. Yep, we got internet. And right there's the Batman site right there. Okay, all three of them are working. The only thing I got to do is set them far enough apart, and I got 3 mesh nodes and they are working. I didn't have to mess with no relay D. All you got to do is configure that, reboot it, and as soon as it boots up, it's part of the mesh, and it's a really cool way of networking. I can really dig it. And also I'm using the DIR 615 routers with Openwrt. It's only got 4 megabytes of memory, and I believe the only way, if you want to use a router with the Theros chipset with 4 megabytes, the only thing I can think of is get a custom built firmware. Either you do it, or you can probably get somebody else to do it, or go on the site and say, hey, will you build me one? If I have the time, I'll build you one. But if you get a router that's got 8 megabytes, then you'll be okay. You'll be able to look on the Batman site and do a OPKG update and put Batman on there. But if you got a 4 megabyte router, it can be done. It can. But I'm going to put all these configs in the website where I got these configs from, where you can look at both of them. You can look at mine, look at the other one, so you can quickly go to yours and config Batman where it works. And that's pretty much it, folks. I hope y'all learned something, because this mesh networking is really getting more popular. People are really wanting to get into mesh networking, and I did, and then I'm gonna so y'all can set y'all up a home mesh network. You got a part of a house that ain't got no internet, configure a node and stick in there, and you'll have internet. Okay, folks, that's it. I hope y'all have a great day, and bye-bye.